To be a proper rock and roll rebel and all that stuff, I really think it has to be, for me anyway, it has to be sort of like coming from younger bands, you know.
We hear our music as being very emotional, very human, but other people hear it as being robotic. But I think kind of over time, the human element of it becomes more apparent.
Who are you anyway, and where did you come from?
I have to somehow get my records into the hands of those people who like Bruce Springsteen and who basically have written off like hip-hop altogether.
I have said not once, but many times.
Hey, what's going on, and welcome to another episode of the New Music. I'm George Stroumboulopoulos. We got American Hi-Fi, Ladytron, and Buck 65 on the show, and we go back in the day with one of the most important punk rock bands ever. But we'll start with the music of Paul Weller. He's been making it for about 4 decades now, and in that time, he's had 3 very distinct eras. First, you got his stuff with the Jam, who, along with the Clash and the Buzzcocks, had a major influence on the British pop music. And then in the 80s, he kind of got on that Style Council thing where he upped the R&B quotient in his songwriting, and now he enjoys a very prolific solo career, sometimes political, but always elegant. We look to the past and the future with Paul Weller.
Were they 3 distinct periods for you?
They were distinct, yeah, but I mean, they're still part of the same person, or the person's still part of them, whatever way it works. But you know, they're kind of like sort of learning stages for me as well. You know, I mean, with the Jam, it was like I started off like literally from 14. You know, I mean, we started making records later on, but we actually started the band when I was 14. So that was kind of like all of my teenage years, and then the Style Council was all like the whole of my 20s, and then this last decade, obviously, you know, I've been like from sort of finding myself in my early 30s and be 45 soon, you know. But so I can sort of see it, you know, as like a sort of not stepping stones, but also like, well, just as a learning process.
Used to fall in love with everyone, any guitar, and anybody strong. Life is a drink and you get drunk when you're young.
I really think, you know, to be a proper rock and roll rebel and all that stuff, I really think it has to be, for me anyway, it has to be sort of like coming from younger bands, you know. When I see like the Rolling Stones still trying to be bad boys, it's just like, come on now, you know.
Everybody
just
knows.
Just be content to be. I've been in a band and playing music.
It's lit up in the stars that were true. We're destined in the sky to be glad.
There's a different mood on this record, I think.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to. It was a conscious effort to try and make it more positive and just make an upful. You know, a record that was kind of up for when people would come away feeling good after hearing it. That was the kind of intention behind it anyway.
Now the world's at a stage. One war, race and rage.
And no shortage of inspiration in the world right now for you to write your songs?
Well, no, I mean, I think there's always things to write about. It's not so much the stuff to finding things to write about it, it's just how you get to them.
Standing out in the universe, forever like a star.
What happened, especially in the UK, because Tony Blair has been so very much the Bush girlfriend, it's been bizarre.
Yeah, I can't say the word on TV, unfortunately, how I feel about Tony Blair.
Yeah, you can?
Begins with a C. Ends with a T.
Does it rhyme with bunt?
It could do.
But the same old wealth in the same old hands. The same old people stay in command.
When the Style Council, near the end of that run, especially when things were political and you were vocal about them, it was as if people at that time weren't buying into it. And was it...
Weren't buying into it.
They weren't buying into the idea of the artists telling them what to do in the late 80s. They wanted something a little bit easier to digest, but that's changed now.
It has changed, yeah, ironically, yeah. I think, well, I don't know. I don't know if people felt we were kind of sort of pushing it down their throats too much. I don't know, perhaps we were just being too unsubtle about it. I don't know. but the mood wasn't right for it either way. And the mood was very different in England at that time as well. You had harping on about politics all the time, but you had all that kind of whole Thatcherite thing going on then, and people were just really shut off, you know. Everyone was just kind of, it was just about themselves, really.
I really do feel we were belong.
You're a father, and you know, have been for a while. Do you pay more attention to what goes on in the world the more you realize your kids are going to inherit it?
I guess so, yeah. I'm sure that is, yeah. Because, you know, my two oldest children, especially my son, who's the eldest, is old enough to be aware of what's going on as well and ask me questions like, are we going to go to war? Is the world going to blow up? Or, you know, are we going to destroy ourselves? And, you know, they're big issues to talk about to a kid, you know. And half of me thinks, yes, we are. And the other half of me thinks, well, I want to say something positive to my child. I want my children to think, you know, the world's going to end in 5 days' time or something.
The positivity and the need for hope, I guess, is important for everybody. Is it as important for you as an artist?
Yeah, because it's, I don't want it to feel doom and gloom, you know. Life is beautiful, you know. When you leave it alone and let it happen naturally, it is a beautiful thing.
Hi, we're the Deers,